Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to this episode of Comment of the Week. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this episode of Comment of the Week, and comments throughout this week have been a variation on a theme. We all know about it, we've all heard about it, the media are chucking it down our necks every minute of every day. It's coronavirus. So 3 comments this week, as I say, variations on a theme, so we'll go through them and I'll give my thoughts on what you guys have been asking. So the first one comes from the Doncaster versus AFC Wimbledon match preview. When I uploaded this, thought it was going to happen, but unfortunately this weekend's games fell foul to the virus. And Dean Botterill asked the question, big question for you, Shaggy Do. What's your thoughts on the rest of the season in regards to this virus that's spreading around the world? Do you think the FA will postpone the leagues, stop teams playing for a few weeks and then add another month on? Or what about them saying that they'll play all the games behind closed doors? I believe this Saturday could be the last time you'll be able to see the Rovers play this season wherever they decide. So yeah, with that one, I'll answer what I think about coronavirus and what the FA should do, because as I say, 3 comments that are a variation on the theme. But yeah, behind closed doors, I don't like the idea of that. Football without fans is nothing, and this virus has spread across the world at some pace. So I think it was the right decision to call off games this week and give a break. But time will tell if football returns on the 4th of April, as they said it would. On to the next comment. This is from Bailey Vicarage, again on the AFC Wimbledon match preview video. Bailey said, what do you think will happen with the league now EFL has suspended all games? Will the fixtures be rearranged and when for? Do you think we'll see the season be extended, or will the games be played Saturday, Tuesday, etc.? Or will the season just be put to bed, end it now? If that happens, do you think they will send the teams up and down from what the table looks like now? So Coventry and Rotherham would be promoted, or whether there will be no promotions, no relegations, and just forget this season happened. Personally, I'm glad the EFL have decided to postpone the games instead of playing them behind closed doors, because football just isn't the same without the fans. I've got to agree with that. He says, I'd like to know your thoughts. And then the final comment comes from John Cobb, a regular commenter on the videos. This is from last week's comment of the week. And John says, hello again my friend, and another great video as I really enjoy the comments and thoughts of other listeners. Very worrying times for teams struggling financially due to cancelled fixtures caused by the coronavirus. Listening to Tranmere Rovers chairman Mark Palios and Accrington Stanley chairman Andy Holt, they both have different views on the cancellation of fixtures. Palios is against, Hall is in favour. What are your thoughts on the cancellations? Don't know if you just heard Vicky sneeze in the background. What are your thoughts on the cancellations, and what impact, if any, would the financial shortfall have on your club, Doncaster Rovers? Both Donny and my club, Sunderland, could most probably survive, but you look at most clubs with players out of contract with no money to renew those contracts. Also, if teams are promoted to the Championship this season, could they survive in that league without no money? And then the fixtures really need to be completed, but containing the virus is paramount. I agree with that, as we are talking about people's lives. What are your thoughts on what should happen with regards to fixtures, promotion, relegation? And then he's put a link below, which I will also put in the description of this video, as a possible solution. And it's looking at final league placings for the 1920 season, but just using 2020's results. Now, personally, I don't think that would be fair. I think you've got to take 2019's results into consideration as well if they do end the league now. But let's start with that. Would I like the league to be ended now? In short, no. I would like to see the league completed if possible. Now, it's all to do with if we contain this virus over the next couple of weeks in the UK, and if football does return in April. I think if it does return in April, there's a good chance that we can finish the domestic season. As far as I'm aware, they're looking at cancelling Euro 2020. I read somewhere today that has been cancelled, but I haven't looked into it fully, so I'm not sure if that was just kind of a clickbait thing. But I know they are thinking about it and considering it, with it being across Europe. So with that potentially not going ahead, it gives a couple of weeks, 4 or 5 weeks in the summer where we could extend this season into next. But then that brings up the question about players out of contract. We've got quite a lot of loanee players. Is that contract just to the end of the season, or is it a dated end of loan? Because if the season extends, then would those loans end up being given back to their parent club? I don't know, but I would like to see the season completed where possible. A lot of teams are going to find it tough with no income coming in for the next couple of weeks. I think teams will have budgeted for games in and around this time of the year, and with no income coming in through ticket sales, merchandise being sold, food and drink, it is going to be a tough time for a lot of teams, and hopefully we don't see any teams falling by the wayside like Bury did this season and almost Bolton. But I think if the season isn't concluded and games aren't played out, we could potentially see a couple of teams head that way, which is not very nice to think about. Hopefully Doncaster aren't one of those teams. I think we run quite a tight ship, so hopefully that management of the club and of the business hopefully stands us in good stead through this tough time. But other clubs could not be as lucky, and for all I know, Doncaster could not be that lucky as well. Only time will tell. Hopefully all clubs get through this time, and that's another reason why I'd like to see the season played out, so that those games are played and the revenue is brought in, even if it is a little late. As I mentioned early on, behind closed doors, I don't like the idea of that. The revenue doesn't come in for the clubs, and I've seen a few games on the TV. Man United, I think Juve play behind closed doors against Inter Milan. PSG play behind closed doors in the Champions League as well, and it just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't sound right. I don't like it. Football without fans is nothing. So if it's going to be one of 3 options, play it out, end the season now, or play behind closed doors, it's got to be play the season out if we can. But I think to end this video, I kind of bring it all together. Coronavirus has hit everywhere so hard. I don't think we quite understood the severity of it. I still don't think we do. Sport, we miss it when it's not on, but I think people's lives are much more important, and that's lives of the fans, lives of the players, staff, everybody connected to every single club. I think the right decision's being made to postpone the season as we are. If it does end, I don't think anybody should go up. I don't think anybody should go down. The season should just be null and void if that's the only option. But hopefully that's the last resort and it doesn't come to that. Very sad for Liverpool and Leeds. As a Donny fan, I'd feel for Leeds a little bit. Feel for Rotherham as well a little bit because they're up there. But there's still plenty of the season left, so I think it'd be harsh for other teams who are chasing the pack that could potentially catch them. It would be harsh for them to miss out. I mean, we're quite close to playoffs in touching distance. Could we get there? Who knows? But if we did get there, potentially in the Championship, it's a bit more revenue. I think it just opens a can of worms for lawsuits and what have you getting thrown about. It'd be nice not to see that. It'd be nice to see the season played out. Here's hoping, and I hope everybody watching this is safe, well and healthy. If you're not, follow government advice, keep washing your hands, keep sanitising, Let's try and get this virus stopped in its tracks. And hopefully we will win and we will see football back before the end of the season. If you've enjoyed this, please stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments in the section down below. Hopefully something a little bit more cheerier than a virus in next week's video. Hopefully some news on the season, returning or not. And if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.